When the COVID-19 pandemic struck the Outer Banks in the spring of 2020, it posed a series of challenges to more than just the health and well-being of those who contracted the virus. With many businesses closing their doors to adhere to the regulations, and many parents temporarily out of the workforce, or forced to work from home and no longer needing daycare providers to care for their children during the workday, daycare facilities throughout Dare County were suddenly filled with vacancies.
When COVID happened, the center, we struggled with enrollment, we struggled with staffing. Ultimately, we had to close for a few months, which we've never had to do, obviously. And we were finally able to reopen. And then upon reopening, we still are struggling with the same types of things: staffing, enrollment.
Because of these struggles, many Dare County daycares were standing at the brink of being forced to shut down their facilities for good.
One of the biggest concerns with the COVID pandemic that affected all of us, with our enrollment being so low, was if it continued without any kind of community help and support, it would have been so awful to not be able to be open and not be able to stay open and lose all these child care and Montessori school spots and have to let all those employees go. It just would have been so tragic.
This not only had a devastating effect on the daycare providers, but also on the many parents who found themselves having to choose between the developmental health and well-being of their children and the demands of their work and daily responsibilities.
When the pandemic started, I think all parents in Dare County realized we were really going to be in a bind. There's so much we rely on our child care centers for: socialization, consistency, all sorts of those things. And when it hit and doors closed across the beach, we were at a loss and didn't know what to do, where to go, who to turn to. And lots of parents couldn't go to work because all the centers were closed.
Alarmed by the imminent negative impacts of COVID-19 on both early childhood education and childcare, Children and Youth Partnership for Dare County took immediate action. The nonprofit organization formed a committee consisting of board members, staff, and stakeholders who worked together to develop a plan to present to the Dare County Board of Commissioners. Recognizing the severity of the struggles that these parents and child care providers were facing, the commissioners took a proactive approach to the problem and helped to secure a solution that is unique to Dare County and the state of North Carolina. In early January, at its first meeting of 2021, the Dare County Board of Commissioners approved Children and Youth Partnership's proposal for the Early Childhood Education and Assistance Grant. This action resulted in the county providing $350,000 in funding to help child care providers continue to operate throughout the crisis, and to ensure that they are available to take care of the community's children once COVID-19 becomes a thing of the past.
The Early Childhood Education and Child Care Assistance Grant came out of the Dare County General Fund because the impact of COVID left some monies in some existing budgets that were unused. We were able to immediately make this money available to child care operators up to $10,000. And I'm just so very proud of Dare County government rising to this challenge.
The positive impacts of the grant have been wide and far-reaching, with more than a dozen Dare County daycares currently receiving assistance in the form of $400 per month per vacancy, funding that has ultimately kept the lights on and the doors open at many child care facilities during the COVID-19 crisis.
It was very helpful because we're receiving it on those children that we don't have enrolled. So it's on our vacancies. So it's allowing me to keep staff still working, keep our class sizes small so we're limiting our exposure and being able to just function, because our expenditures are 3 times what they were.
In addition to providing a lifeline for daycare providers who were once concerned that their businesses might not survive the pandemic, the grant has also been a game changer for the hundreds of parents who rely on child care facilities remaining open so that they can continue to stay in the workforce during and post-pandemic.
I mean, it was very scary not to know when kids were going back to school, how they were going to go back to school, but given the resources that they are offering and providing, we've been able to do it, and we've been able to do it very successfully, and most importantly, our kids are happy.
By establishing this grant program, Dare County is taking a proactive approach to enable the community's children to have somewhere safe to go. and to ensure that their parents are able to stay in the workforce during and after the COVID-19 crisis.